You're listening to the PT Pintcast, where smart people in healthcare come to make noise. Here's your host, Jimmy McKay.
Played the wrong intro. Correct intro. Take two.
Broadcasting way too early from 3 separate Wi-Fi connections. It's PT Breakfast Club with Tony Maritato, Dave Kittle, and Jimmy McKay.
There we go. That's a little better. Good morning, physical therapy.
Double intro. Do we get double the sponsorship?
Double the sponsor. You're gonna love today's sponsors. I've decided to keep them all in one theme. The sponsors have decided to come together, so we got one theme today. It's the only morning show where we talk about the business, the tech, the money, and the systems quietly rewriting your career while you're still explaining clamshells to someone named Bob. Today, why a $1 billion tech company says PT first while actively replacing physical therapists. How Dave accidentally got discovered by artificial intelligence. We need to reverse engineer this, because if you're not doing that, you're not going to get discovered by the artificial intelligence. And how that same technology is now listening to evals in real time from miles away. This is going to be a Dave heavy episode. If you like rehab, business, and light existential dread before 9 a.m., you are in the right place. Welcome to PT Breakfast Club, which brings us to our very first sponsor, TheraBand AI. TheraBand AI, the world's first resistance band powered by artificial intelligence. Did your TheraBand need AI? Probably not, but we added it anyway. Tracks tension, posture, mood, and your therapist's confidence, and offers real-time coaching like more tension, less tension. Honestly, just ice it. TheraBand AI, because if it doesn't have AI in it, is it even rehab anymore? Learn more at why is this smart.health TheraBand AI. Does it need AI? No. Should we put it in there? Absolutely, we should.
I mean, if it doesn't snap, if the AI TheraBand does not snap anymore, and snap and break someone's orbital socket, like that's a win.
I had one of those things happen. Like Stroops, the dude from Stroops, I was doing a live show with like a while ago. It's like, well, that's not a thing. And then I had it happen. A resistance band that was just in my basement for a while, hadn't used it, was going to do some deadlifts, was warming up, snap, did hit me in the face. That's not an exaggeration. That's a thing that happens. The big story, we got to get into this one. We figure out what to talk about in what everybody does, families, group chats, right? And this one popped up. I think, who brought it up? You, Dave, or Tony? I saw it too. Yeah, as you saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I was going to share this one as well. Larry Benz, who I'm going to run into at Graham Sessions this week, dropped a scorcher. Larry Benz giving 0 Fs, breaking down Hinge Health's brand new state MSK care report. They're bold enough to be like, hey, everybody, we're Hinge Health. We have virtually no physical therapists, but we're going to do a state of the union for you. Honestly, power marketing move.
It's a bold move.
Old move. Let's see how it plays out for. State of the MSK report. On the surface, it is a beautiful argument that patients should see physical therapy first. Pause for dramatic effect. Well done. Clap, clap, clap. No notes, except for, here comes some notes. The company publishing it is a $2 billion tech firm whose entire business model is built on making sure patients don't see a physical therapist. Oh, man, are we getting rugged or what? They diagnose the system pretty well, then sell a solution that actually just provides a detour around everybody in the profession. They're like, wait, what happened here? I thought they were for us. This isn't a tech story. This is an incentive story. So here's the big idea. When the company replacing you becomes the loudest advocate for your profession, you should probably read the fine print. So Dave, why'd you bring this one up? Why was this? I mean, whoa, where do we start?
Well, first of all, I respect Larry Benz significantly. He has I don't know when he started in private practice, but it was a long time that he was in private practice. And then he had I almost said Confluent. I don't know. I think you had mentioned like maybe he stepped out of that in the last year or two and like retired or semi-retired. But in terms of private practice and PPS, he is like one of the main authorities. Go ahead.
I was going to say he retired and stepped back out. He launched Confluent not as long as I thought ago. It says 11 and a half years, but he did a lot in 11 and a half years.
To take something and make it into, I think they're close to they're at least I think 500 locations, maybe closer to 1,000 locations. I mean, now of course you're buying chains and groups, so it's a roll-up strategy. It's not like each one was a de novo, but to even do that in 11 years is just beyond impressive.
Yeah. All right. So we're starting into the article. How would you explain this to someone who hasn't read this?
Dave froze. He's not frozen.
I'm here.
Okay.
Well, I said,
I'm here. Go ahead.
How would you explain what was going on in this article? Why was it important to bring up? Why is it our lead story? Like, you don't have to give me specifics. If you have them, great, but dig in. I've got some question starters or whatever, but I wanted to hear from you first, since this was just sort of your suggestion.
I agree with a lot of what he said around hinge health and sword health over the past couple of years. I think I hate to say the word thought leader, but I think if there's anyone in our profession that's a thought leader, it's Larry Benz. I remember back in 2014, 2015, he was heavy into Twitter. His hashtag or his handle is @physicaltherapy on Twitter. He's always been leveraging social media, and kudos to him. Like, he's obviously was like full on deep in his career and utilizing technology that was like newer and novel, and whether it was networking. I've just been a fan of his. I actually never met him. I would love to meet him at some point. I know Jimmy, I think a year or so ago, you joked like you were gonna invite yourself to his like Kentucky farm or his mansion, whatever, his estate, whatever he's got down there. And I was like begging to, if you do it, I want to come along with you.
I don't know Larry well. We've interacted a few times. The vibe I get is he'd be like, yeah, okay, when? Like, he wouldn't even say okay. He'd just be like, yeah, what's good for you? Is it tomorrow? He writes a lot. He's been doing this more because the technology's gotten better, right? And he's an inch wide to mile deep kind of guy, because he'll write a post, but it'll lead to an article that just goes deep into a problem. And I think he's a thought leader, and I'm using air quotes, because he doesn't need the attention. He's doing it because he cares. He's like, here's what I see. He's like sort of like waving. This is what I see. Hey, everybody, in 2 years, you're going to be like, where'd this come from? And Larry would be like, look at my post from 2 years ago. That exact thing happened. So here's some can you claim PT first when PTs weren't even in the room writing the report? Like, is that the thing that what pisses us off the most? Or are we just giving them their own flowers going, hey, well done, we're getting smoked here?
Let's ask. I want you to ask Tony. So Tony, is Hinge Health valid, and are they okay to write this when they operate the way that they do?
Yeah. I read the article a couple times. There was a couple quotes in there that totally made sense. I don't see the problem. Like, they're basically saying, look, we created this solution, this platform, this amazing technology. Yes, we agree. Patients should be seeing a physical therapist first. We have everything else covered, and I think collectively the three of us generally agree, like, the therapist's most valuable position, at least right now, is the evaluation, establishing the plan, identifying comorbidities, complexities, factors that are going to influence care. It is not in the delivery of the care. The AI analysis and watching people do stuff and improving compliance and all that can be outsourced to a platform like Hinge or Sword. Our role is more just kind of oversight, maybe initial evaluation. The fact that they don't have 1,000 therapists on staff doesn't bother me at all. I think this is a great opportunity, olive branch, to say, hey, we're not leaving the profession behind. We want you guys to come along with us. We want the actual therapist to work alongside us. Let us do our part, which is what the technology is designed for. You guys do your part. And when you think of the consumer, their consumer, it's the employer, to my understanding. People who are working, they're not that complex. We're not talking about people who had amputees and strokes and brain injuries and pediatrics. We're talking about the same people that walk into my clinic, that are going to work after PT, that are coming to PT after work. They're fully functional. They just need a little guidance, which is what the AI platform can do. And I would step in either before, during, after at some point, but I don't need to be the main one delivering the service.
Here's a question for you. Who benefits the most here? Patients, employers, shareholders? Like, who's going to benefit the most from that? That's what, so what, now what? This is sort of in the so what territory. So who benefits the most here?
Potentially insurance companies, because they're finding a way that they're offering a cheaper alternative to billable units. Insurance companies like it. That's why they agree to it. That's why they send out promotional Hinge Health, Sword Health emails on their behalf. That is probably the most savvy move of Hinge Health and Sword Health, is that they've gone either directly to employers or they've gone to the insurance companies. And insurance companies, they want to hold money. They want to pay out less, like they want to continue to make more billions. Like, it is a genius business model. The founders of Hinge understood that, and they don't care about they don't care about my style of delivery. They don't even care about Tony's style of delivery. They're like, we have a potential alternative solution, and it's a screen, and maybe there's a little health coach, maybe there's a little physical therapist on the front end, but really it's just someone that has back pain or whatever and following exercises on a screen.
Yeah.
As a side note, I know we hammered this before, but there was the company that Tony brought in about the coaching. What was that, like the coaching tiers for accountability? It was mentioned on the Sampar and
my Fitness Pal, or my something. My Body Tutor.
My Body Tutor.
Okay.
So when you were describing, Tony, about AI can do the accountability and this and that, no, it cannot. That's why that company, because behavior change requires more than a push notification, an email, a text message to go log into an app. I am firmly a believer that for accountability like this, like, I know we're still live. This is not AI apps. Like, there's accountability. Like, I know I got to finish my get dressed in my hair and brush my teeth and my breakfast. I got to make sure I'm here live, because you guys are going to just go live at 8:30 a.m. anyway. Right. So there's accountability. Now, if this was just like, it's just like Hinge Health notification, whatever, and I could just do it whenever, I'll push it off. So I disagree that Hinge and Sword and all that, Tony, can be replacing all of the accountability, which is one of the big components of behavior change and pain relief and recovery and wellness and health and all that.
Question that's on screen right now: are PTs quietly losing the front door to care? I mean, instead of having to go to individuals, they're going through. So the question was, that was asked: are PTs quietly losing the front door? Will we eventually be only left with the back door?
This is a great visual display of, okay, we still have a free market to some level. It's going to be decided. Right? If the consumer wants what they are producing, the consumer is going to choose it, and we will decay. The profession will die out. If the consumer doesn't want it, my biggest fear is then regulation steps in, and somebody in government somewhere says, no, we got to listen to Dave. We got to listen to the therapist. We can't allow this to happen. And it stifles innovation. It takes away the opportunity for a company like Hinge to either live or die on their own merits. And it just, that's what really concerns me here.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I said this before, the consumer in general across the entire country over the next 5 or 10 years will not want Hinge Health or Sword Health. These companies will go away. I'm telling you, they do not. The insurance companies want this. They want this product and service.
Sure.
Any other stakeholders want this product or service to minimize paying for billable units or physical therapy or whatever. The consumer, the actual employee, we talked about this before, an employee at, I don't know, Cargill or Walmart, and they get Hinge Health and Sword Health for free, and they get fired or they leave Walmart or Cargill, they move to another job. Now that job does not give Hinge Health and Sword Health for free. That person will not pay $10 a month for Hinge Health or Sword Health. The consumer does not want this. Now, Drew, right here, Drew Cruz, thank you for joining in live. He's saying, wouldn't we rather have those people on the remote side and more complex in person? Yeah, sure. That's fine. That's fine. The people on the remote side, there needs to be some human accountability on the other end, in my opinion, to do remote programming and all that. When I paid Mike Laviolette, the physical therapist, to do remote programming, I knew that if I was not clicking my exercises and submitting my workouts, and he was asking me questions, in between workouts or every other day or every other week, I knew that there was some human accountability that made me change my behavior. My goal was to work out and break a sweat every single day. But I knew the crux of it was like, I have this urge to satisfy this other human. There's some oversight. They're watching me. And when it's digital, there is no influence or there's significantly less influence. So yes, Drew, you can have those people remotely. Why not do that yourself? I know Tony's talked about remote programming or remote therapeutic monitoring. You could have it as a self-pay service, but as a standalone service, Hinge Health, Sword Health, no consumer is going to pay $5, $10, $15 a month for it out of pocket if they don't get it through their employer. Full stop.
Don't disagree. Someone was having this conversation yesterday, and I appreciate where they were coming from. But they were like, hey, wouldn't you pay? They were sort of taking Tony's model of $100 a month access to his clinic for gym. But they were like, wouldn't you want for $100 a month, $25 a week, a daily check-in with your PT, an email update, a blah, blah, and what they were talking about, what I was watching in real time was feature. And my response was, what's their problem? Like, what is the benefit? Now I get an extra text message every day. I got to be honest with you guys. I need less text messages. I need better text messages. The people I want texting me are important. I bought a Christmas present a month and a half ago, and now I'm getting 3 text messages a week. I get it, right? Get the cell phone number, get the email address, ping. If they're not going to buy, make them unsubscribe. That's not a long-term, not for us. That's wrong. That's the wrong strategy. It's the right strategy if you're trying to sell me a duffel bag. My man, I just bought a duffel bag last month. My duffel bag problem is solid for a while. I'm good on the duffel bags. I know you also sell golf. This is Agio, golf bags and this, and I know you. I see you. I'm going to now unsubscribe. So understand what problem you're actually solving. I don't know that Hinge Health has that yet.
So I would say, again, reading through the article, trying to process and understand, I will make recommendations to an orthopedic surgeon when I have a patient in the clinic who may benefit from an orthopedic surgeon's assessment. I don't employ an orthopedic surgeon. I don't get any benefit from an orthopedic surgeon. I see this as no different. They don't need to go into the business of live physical therapists in order to solve the problem of delivering physical therapy. And so it's just, I think it's great that they're acknowledging, hey, yeah, it'd be amazing to have a physical therapist in the loop to get a physical therapist's evaluation, but we're not going to pay for it, i.e. Hinge, we're not going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Because that's not the business we're in.
It's too ambiguous. What am I getting? Right? Like, we have different problems to solve. We have, what the hell do we, what are we? Someone had a post the other day about the movement system. And I was like, that was coming out like 10, 12, 13 years ago when I was sort of in PT school. And I was like, I don't know what any of this crap was. I half know what any of this stuff is now. But I was like, I definitely don't know what the movement system is. And then I was looking into it. And then, of course, I'm like, I got AI now. So I've got some posts coming out next week that sort of poke the bear, like, hey, this was actually a good idea. We screwed it up. We screwed up the marketing of it. We went to flowcharts and white papers and round table. We went to PDFs instead of JPEGs. We should have made movies about this. We should have done live streams instead of, let me explain to you what the movements is. If you can't explain it in 12 seconds, you don't have a thing. You don't have a good idea. That's actually not true. But if you can't explain it in 12 seconds, no one else is going to think you have a good idea. You might have a good idea, but if you can't explain it, it doesn't matter. Hinge is really good at explaining stuff to a different audience. Right? Am I wrong? To employers, they go, hey, do you want to do a thing?
It's cost savings. Yes.
Do it for less. So here's my question. Is this what they're doing, healthcare innovation or HR innovation? I know that I have an opinion, obviously.
It's like financial engineering. I mean, it's not
benefits
physical therapy.
Innovation. Correct.
Yes.
Except we're getting rugged here, right?
Yeah, but if you're going to waste, from an employer perspective, if you're going to waste money, let's waste less money. If I'm going to pay for one of my people to go see Dave, and I know my person isn't going to do what's prescribed, they're not going to do the home exercises, they're not going to follow Dave's instruction, why am I going to waste $250, $500 when I can waste $20. Like, we're going to put the effort out there. But I mean, it's the same thing for me in the clinic. Like, I'm not going to pay for an expensive home exercise delivery system because I don't expect my patients to do the home exercises. If somebody will do it, I will spend the money, but they're not coming to me for that. So I don't want to switch topics, but I'm dying to hear about Dave and the guy listening when we're ready.
Let's jump.
I have a transition. We have to pay the bills, guys, but let's hear from Ben. Ben usually brings good idea. Hinge is applauded for pushing the acceptance of digital PT. Hinge is applauded for addressing MSK cost of care. Hinge or something like Hinge is necessary in the true scheme of population health for MSK. It's an inexpensive to deploy layer that reserves in-person PT skilled care for those who truly need it. A good front door. You want to be in the front door business. You don't want to be in the back door business. I'm just using analogies, guys. But it is part of the solution, not the solution. It's never the solution, right? This is never the thing. It's always part of the thing. It depends. All right, let's switch a little bit of topics, but we got to pay the bills. We got a good one. This segment is sponsored by Goniometer GPT, the first range of motion tool powered by artificial intelligence. Simply point it at the joint and it confidently reports approximately 90-something degrees, probably. Auto-generated progress notes, optimism, and 3 contradictory measurements per visit. Goniometer GPT, because accuracy is overrated, but AI is trendy. Order now at trustthealgorithm.io. Goniometer GPT. All right. So, Dave, a patient found you. You dropped this in the group chat, like super cash, like, hey, GROK got me a payment. And I was like, the tight end from the Patriots. You're like, no, not GROK, GROK.
Yeah, I spelled it incorrectly. Yeah.
No, I don't think you spelled it incorrectly. I think you just read it incorrectly because I have ADD or whatever. Dyslexia. We may be entering a world where patients don't search for clinics anymore. Think about that. We never wanted to search for the answer. We wanted the answer. I mean, I got when I was growing up, like, hey, I was taught, ask questions, figure things out. Hey, what's this? Go look it up. I wanted the answer. You told me to go look. Okay, got it. I could have done that. So we may be entering a world now where patients don't search for clinics. They ask for a solution to a problem, and I hope you're the answer. So let's reverse engineer this. How did you know that's where it came from? What found you? Like, tell the story.
Yeah, well, I want to cover this briefly because I definitely want to get into the us recording patient encounters through an AI app, recording audio. That's a little teaser. In terms of this, new patient called in. Secretary always gets contact information, a little bit of patient demographic information about what's going on. Are they looking for an office visit? Because yes, guys, we have an office. Or are they looking for a house call? So, if it's a house call, what's your address? That type of stuff. And they always have to ask. Otherwise, I would be very mad. They have to ask, how did you hear about us?
Did you hear about us?
So I mentioned here on the show before that we've had maybe 2 or 3 people find this through ChatGPT when they're prompted, hey, how did you hear about us? Because historically, it's been like, other than word of mouth or a physician or nurse agency or whatever, it's usually Google. And so we had those 2 or 3 previous ChatGPT leads. And now yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, we had our first lead patient or prospective patient come through GROK. And I actually have never used it. I had to pull it up and I was, this is the thing that's like through Twitter or whatever, but it looks just like ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever. Yeah, they look very similar. And so that I spoke with the prospective patient because I got to hear this, but then I went into my normal approach. So I could maybe ask, but I didn't ask like what did they look for? What did they prompt? But they were looking for a home visit. They were looking for a home visit, and I can't remember the guy's date of birth, but he's like in his 30s or 40s. So obviously typically a younger person in general would be more likely to use these tools. Not always, but in general right now. So so that's interesting. But that's it really.
But so you might be right. You might say something like someone older, we're going to be ageist here for a second. I apologize, Kathy Cholik and everybody from APT Geriatrics. You might say someone who's 60 years old 60 plus isn't going to use AI. But now when you Google something, the first result is now there. They're not waiting for you to go look for that. They're jamming it where you are already looking, which if you're going for user adoption, that's a way to go, right? Like Google's quietly saying like, hey, this is a threat, but we have one, so we're going to put it as the first search result. Yeah, I would love to hear like what were they looking for? Like how'd this start? Like even before the emotional, like, oh damn, I gotta freaking, we gotta take care of this. And then you have all these options. What'd you do? And then on the flip side, how did GROK know that you were the answer? Is it SEO? What are we calling search to like AI suggestion optimization? I know somebody already probably has a term, but like it's SEO for AI. I don't know what it is.
Prompt optimization. I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be a word that comes up soon.
What'd you do to be the answer? Somebody asked me 2 years ago, or in a comment was like, how do we get AI to make sure that when someone asks a question like this, we are the answer? And I was like, you need to be the answer is what I'm looking at. But how did they know Dave is the answer for that guy? Like, I want to know how it thought.
Well, that I don't have the answer, but I'm assuming so even right now, like if you, I think you did this before, if you pulled up like, it's called AEO. Oh, so artificial engine optimization. So like SEO, search engine optimization. So artificial engine optimization, AEO. So I think if you just typed in like in-home physical therapy Manhattan, then it'll give you like the top 3 or 5.
Ben Galen said Dave quietly whispers into his Roomba every day for how great AI and robots are. And then AI or robots, of course, then search answer engine optimization. AEO.
Answer. Okay.
Do you guys know Pete Holmes? He's a comedian.
I don't know.
He's funny, and you've seen him, and he does this bit, and I don't know. I don't know if I can tell the bit because he has to say the word dildo like 68 times. He stops in the middle of a comedy routine, and he's just
Nate, edit that out, please, before you put on my show.
I won't say it 60 times, but he's like saying it, and he's like stopped in the middle of a comedy routine. He's saying it. He's like, I want to buy a bleep. I want to buy a bleep bleep. I want to buy a big bleep 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 bleep. And everybody in the audience is like, what? He does it for like a minute. And then he goes, good luck with all those targeted ads over the next week. And I was like, oh my God, he hacked everybody's algorithm in theory. But like, that's the question, which is like, what's the input? We want to be the output, but we need to understand the middle. And then how, of course, to hack the system with what Will has now educated us as AEO, answer engine optimization. I like how it's answer engine and not AI, because like, if you are the answer, I do want you to be found. I don't want you to be the best kept secret in your town.
I'm sure it comes back to pulling from whatever your current digital footprint is, right? So like online reviews, Google reviews, Yelp reviews, maybe SEO pages on your website. I don't know, or like backlinks. I can't imagine it being that much different than SEO.
That was my question now to Tony. Everything's just a circle, guys? Are we back to make sure there's words on your page? And probably now everything's smarter just by we used to put words on white background in white text at the bottom of our web pages so we'd get found. It was like a way to like hack the system. And then when AI was reading job resumes, we were doing that. And everything's a Cold War, right? I have missiles. I have 50 missiles. I have space lasers, right? Everything's just like a little bit or whatever. What's the right way? Because what you want to do is you want to do it the right way so you don't get dinged, because you might always get shadow banned or whatever. So my question, I guess, to Will or Tony or whoever's listening right now,
hey,
what's the right way
I remember that.
Ayo,
he got some old heads.
Tony Danza. Like, what are they talking about? So I don't know the right way.
So Jimmy, the right way, just like we do in the clinic. What's the right way in the clinic to treat a shoulder? Eat better, sleep better, exercise more, manage your lifestyle. What's the right way for Dave to show up in GROK or ChatGPT? Create a presence, share information, deliver unique perspectives, answer questions that other people aren't answering, or answer common questions in unique ways. Yep. That's it. There's nothing to it. There is no hack. There is no special formula. The people who do try to find that, it's temporary. Like Google has been fighting SEO for decades. I mean, you just need to provide value and let the machines do their job.
Yep. do it the right way. You know, I'm helping. I got my first cohort of my How to Launch a Podcast YouTube channel course. It's going well, and I've come back to the same principle because I know I'm talking to healthcare people. A lot of people in the class are PTs, most are PTs, and I'm saying, guys, listen, I want you to keep this in mind. So talk to the audience in a term or a phrase or a word or a concept they already know, and now bring it to the new thing that they don't know. Frequency, intensity, time, type, volume, progression. Those are exercise principles. They're communication principles. Answer the boring question. Answer it in text. Answer it in video. Answer it on LinkedIn. Answer it on your website. Do it 10 different frequency, intensity, time, type, volume, progression. Do that. Drew's like, that is me. I'm in this cohort. Yes. But how many times, Drew, like validate this for me, have I said the same thing 17 different ways, even in the course? Again, people didn't join my course because they could have Googled or AI'd how to launch a podcast. They didn't need that. They needed clarity and guidance. They needed me to hold their hand and hold them accountable. That's the same for PT.
The accountability. Shocking. It works if you have a human there. Wow.
These are parallels. Are we good with? Are we good with? Yeah. Are we good? Oh yeah. Talk about that post that you had the other day.
Wait, what are you
AI.
talking about?
I think I turned it into a video. AI is better at selling your plan of care. It doesn't. AI doesn't freeze on the phone. It knows.
Before we do that, because this is related, let's get to Dave's listening in because this is so important.
All right, but wait. Before we do that, we have another
really quick commercial. Quick.
You didn't think that there needed to be AI in your ice packs, but Ice Pack AI, the first therapy solution with embedded machine learning. Ice Pack AI analyzes swelling, pain, therapist mood, and lunar cycles, and decides whether you deserve cold today. Sometimes it applies ice. Sometimes it sends a notification that says, "Have you tried just not being injured?" Visit freezewithconfidence.ai. All right. So, what app are you using, and tell us this story?
Okay. So, long story short, we have taken the decision to start recording our physical therapist interactions and visits. Now, we have the office, but historically, we've only been doing home visits. When my therapists do a home visit, I literally have no idea what goes on. So they'll say like, yeah, here. And I'll be like, how did it go? And they'll be like this, and that. And then like some patients stay around for weeks or months or years. And some patients drop off after 1 or 2 or 3 visits. And it's like, there's gotta be something, right? So real quick, if you're listening to this, I'm in New York. There's only like 10 or 11 states where it's a 2-party consent where you actually have to, by law, tell the person, that, hey, I'm recording this. If you're okay with that, whatever. New York is a 1-way consent, believe it or not, which is great. So great for us. We are still going to put it in the new client paperwork. We've already done so. It's like 2 sentences. We can actually use some of this. It gives us insights so that therapists can actually, if they wanted to, copy and paste it. It's not exactly like a scribe, but you can kind of use it for documentation purposes as well to be a little bit more efficient. I framed it that way, but then also for increasing the sales presentation, the pitch, the first visit, presenting the plan of care, hitting the milestones of a script that I've provided for them, pre and post test, greeting. Hey, what are your expectations today? Hey, here's the agenda today. Here's what we're going to do. Do you have any questions? Let's do this. Let's do this. We're going to then do this. We're going to do a pre and post test. We're going to do a little bit of treatment or whatever, modalities or intervention or whatever. Then I'm going to talk about I'm going to show you this graphic that we have. It's called Mount Dumore, 1, 2, 3 steps going back up the mountain as a metaphor and a visualization tool. 3 legs of the stool. Here's why we're different. It's a whole Alex Hormozy, 3 legs of the stool pitch metaphor explaining like, here's the plan of care, laying out the plan of care. So it's a lot. It's a lot for my therapist to do. I can now listen in. I can go back the AI, and I'm not going to say which one because we're using one and we're probably going to switch over to another one. And one of these companies eventually are going to sponsor this show. So I don't want to give them any pre-juju before the juju is signed.
This isn't an AI scribe, right? What is so this? Like, what would you call this?
Well, so we'll take a step back. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. The Eagles play. They're knocked out of the playoffs right now, but they play a game on Sunday. Then the Philadelphia Eagles do game tape review. They review game tape on Monday and Tuesday. They're like, hey, what went well? What went poorly or bad? Where can we optimize? Where can we improve? And that's exactly what this does. And it grades the insights are insane. It grades the therapist on each step of the sales script, that whether they get a 1 out of 5, they get a 4 out of 5. It grades each step. It gives insights. It tells how much they talked, their talk ratio versus the patient's talk ratio. I can ask it questions like, hey, when they were speaking to Mr. Smith, did the therapist hit on any emotional triggers? Did Mr. Smith get flustered or shocked with the pricing and the cost? Did they explain? Did they give any objections? Did the therapist mention the word package or whatever the words are? It can suggest, it can grade the therapist on what words to avoid, and I can put a bunch of words to avoid in the system, like discharge or whatever words you want to avoid. If I don't want them to say price, I could have him say like investment, or do you have funds or funding, or like different words that I would want the therapist to use and not use. It's insane the amount of insights. And I was mentioning this because last night I'm home in Brooklyn. My therapist is in the office at 5:15 doing an eval, and I'm listening to the eval in real time, and it's documenting it. It's giving, I can have the whole transcript if I wanted to. It's there. I have the audio. I can go listen to the audio. I can click through and listen to different audio clips. I can ask the AI any of the questions like, hey, how is this going? What's the likelihood that this is going to convert and they're going to continue to stay with us? What's the sentiment like? Does the patient seem nervous or comfortable, or are they asking a lot of questions, or are they being quiet and cold? Like all that. It's insane.
You can also probably go in and say, this is what great looks like. Give me a score how this person did, like really quickly from 0 to 100. I've worked with an app like this. It was like a sales app that did that with like phone calls. And then also great for me was, what was my next step with that? What am I supposed to do? Because Jimmy, by the time I hang up, I have no idea who I just talked to. Here's a great suggestion from Ben, though. We know how learning takes place. Could it shock your physical therapist, like a collar or like a whoop ring? I'm not saying like, don't do that. Right? Hey, this is how much it costs. No cost. This is the investment. Drew Cruz is saying, I don't know what this is called, but shut up and take my money, right? And so you're listening in real time, though? That's nuts.
In real time, I was listening to it. I prompted, I was sending I sent one message. I don't want to be overbearing because my new therapist is only like a week and a half, 2 weeks in. I sent him a message. In real time. Now, I don't know if you saw, but there was a push notification that hit his phone that if he briefly took his phone out or flipped his phone over, he would be able to click into it. And the question, I could message him and say, I don't know, like we're not going to, but like, let's say I wanted to give like a manual price reduction or whatever, something on the fly, like, offer this or do this or whatever. But I'm listening in real time. Yes, Ben Galen. Yes, I will message you or send me a message so I don't forget. But I'll let you know what companies we're using.
How many days until you can just have all your therapists wearing the Ray-Ban Meta glasses and you could be watching the eval in real time while it's transcribed? Like, I mean, honestly, like we're barely nodding.
That technology is also insane right now. The Meta glasses.
It's not even a stretch, right? We're like, oh yeah, probably by the weekend, if we were being honest here. That's already been in development for 12 months. Rachel's saying this is a good one. Let's get some good statistics, not just for one interaction, but can you look at a therapist over a month, a quarter, a year? Rachel's asking like one of those stats that flies around a lot. Does it track how often or how quickly the PT interrupts the patient? That you need to be reminded about, right? And because we're big dumb animals, we're humans. These are good KPIs to measure. You can also
I'll check. I mean, it absolutely will give a talk ratio between the therapist and the client. Yes. Ben's asking, am I making a case for an AI robot PT? Not against it. No, I'm against it. We are someone who's going to spend $350 per visit or $3,000 or $4,000 for package or whatever. Like, it's still with a human. I mean, if it changes, then yes, I'll go AI robots, and I will come on here and I will exclaim that. But no, as of right now, it's to help our therapists cover all of the things that I want them to cover in the first visit. So I'm still hiring and paying human physical therapists.
Getting a message from the studio. Our new we've just Okay, the live stream has just been bought by this app. We've just been purchased. So apparently we are now owned. They bought us during the conversation. In the last 6 minutes, we've actually been bought by Peekaboo AI, which is actually the app that Dave's used, the competitor of the app that Dave's used. Peekaboo AI, looking right into your client interactions and your patient interactions. These things that you're talking about, they're like, oh yeah, like we're so used to giant leaps. It feels like I don't even know it feels like it's a hockey stick, right? It's not a linear improvement. It's almost straight up. So when I like throw out some ridiculous thing that we could do, they're just like, yeah, just give it to 6 developers, and in a week that'll be in the basic plan. It's not even the advanced plan. This is wild. I'm excited to go ahead.
So right after this, I have a go live with one of these companies. I have been using it for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I've been using it, but like I negotiated like a free trial going into a paid 3-month pilot. They gave me like the first month kind of for free. But then, I mean, it gets really expensive. So I wanted to ask Tony, Tony, how many dollars, how much per month per, they call it license or user, but you can say therapist. So the cost of, web PT or, and prompt is a little bit more expensive now, but in general, what cost do you think this is? And I'll give you a range afterwards, but what is the cost per physical therapist, do you think, for this type of value, insight? Maybe it's more valuable to me, maybe it's less valuable to you, but I'm curious, like, to get your thoughts on like the pricing, like the investment for this.
All right. So every time my wife asks me to make a guess like that, she wants me to go low so she can be like, no, it's way more.
No, I don't care. I literally don't. I'm just curious what you think it is.
Knowing what just a standard scribe is going to charge, I would have to think it's probably like $1,200 a month per clinician is what I would be thinking.
No, this is going to go
if this is something that on a sales side, it doesn't matter that Dave is using it or other therapists would be using it to sell a low value product or service. The fact is, this would be something that could get a realtor to sell a $3 million house. This would be something that could get, somebody to buy a $20 million yacht. Like it should be in that $1,200 a month range is what I would guess.
So I've done 3 demos. I have another demo with another company tomorrow, even though, so I'm not the nicest consumer, right? Because I'm going live today with one of them, but then tomorrow I'm still shopping around because I want to see what else is out there, because there's something else I didn't mention in terms of another like feature benefit. It's kind of around $250 to $300 per month per therapist.
Okay.
Which is actually, it's way lower than what Tony was saying, because you were saying, would you say $1,200 or $1,500 per therapist?
I didn't say it, but my guess would have been $20 to $30 a month. And the reason I said that is, but here's the thing. I mean, and here's the reason. And I didn't look it up first. I don't know what app Dave is using. I'm looking at a similar app, and this is why. I quickly looked. I was like, my guess was $20 to $30 a month, and then I looked up what this one is doing. Let me take off I don't care. I've got their name on the screen. I've used a similar tool, which is doing something similar. Maybe I'd pay a little more because it was HIPAA compliant or something, but I don't know that I'd pay $1,200. No way. Because how many plans of care would you need to do? This is going to be a race to the bottom quickly, right? Yeah. Like this is useful. So let's do this. This is going to get cheap, in my opinion, super fast.
And that's the thing, because it is newer on the market. And I've heard Hermosi talk about this. I've heard him reference it when he's talking about training his sales team. But it still doesn't have the market penetration. It's going to be super expensive, or at least I would assume it to be. And then as more competitors come out, as it becomes commoditized, the price and the value goes down. Guess what? Just like physical therapy. Like physical therapy today to treat a shoulder problem is not as valuable as it was 50 years ago, because it has become commoditized.
Right. I did a video on Jevons paradox, which is something I had no idea what the hell it was, but Jared Hall did a post on it, and it explains that it's when something becomes more efficient, we don't use less of it, we actually use more of it. And then the paradox came about when coal became more efficient. England in the 1800s was like, oh, cool, this is more efficient. So we didn't have to use less of it to get more result. It was like, let's use more. Now let's put it everywhere. And then the parallel is good.
my big question for Dave is, how did your therapist respond to it?
Oh, that's a good question.
And then at scale, what do you think the majority of physical therapists in the market today working right now, what do you think they would think of it?
I haven't been. Go ahead.
I pitched each therapist. I got there before I even started it. I got there by at the end of it, I did kind of say like, it's going to be mandatory, but I did say, hey, this can help with documentation. This can help with better conversions. This can help you get more results for patients. In my opinion, this will help. This can help. This can ease your ability to present the plan of care in the first visit and get more buy-in. My therapists are 1099 independent contractors. They're eat what you kill, but then also now some with base salary and upside. So either way, if you do this, like if you just cover the steps that we're talking about, we're going to practice it. Like, it's okay. I know it's different. I know this is something that like you're not used to from DPT school or your other jobs or whatever, but you also will earn more. And like, I hit on all the things that like they said that is important to them. So they want to have whatever, less paperwork, treat less patients, make more money. This literally is the conduit to do so.
I think.
So what was the response though?
Yeah,
like,
response?
were they like, yes, 100%?
Every single therapist said, cool. All right, I'm in. That's fine. And even my new guy, Andrew. So he was like, the first time he recorded, he said like, oh, like the first, I don't know, like as soon as he hit record and he starts his eval, he said like, oh, it's like a little, he was thinking like a little, maybe nervous or whatever. But then like, as you're evaluating the patient, like you forget about it. You're just going to do your normal thing.
Yeah. I was going to say that like clinicians in general want confidence and competence. They want to know like, am I good? Am I above good? Good. And then I want to be confident in that. So I think the people who would be afraid of this are people who are like, I know I'm terrible and I don't want anybody to see this.
Exactly. And would I want to keep them on my team? No. Right. So it could help as an earlier off ramp instead of having a therapist stay on an extra 4 to 6 months. And then there's like way more issues. This could help us exit therapists faster that are not the right fit.
Yeah. John Fraser chiming in. John, good to see you. John was a military PT, or maybe he still is. I thought he said he retired. He says he's addressing technology to include AI in the upcoming ankle CPG revision. I know very little about CPGs, but on purpose, they don't redo them often, right? It's like a huge deep dive. The fact that they're already like, I'm imagining reviewing the ankle CPG was on the docket. They're already like, oh, we need this in there. That's fast for research to respond sort of this fast. I mean, I know it's not that fast, but it's fast for research. So good on you, John, because I know how slow the wheels of academia move for good reason sometimes, but this is good reason to move a little faster. Ben says someone like Dave who values value and values consistency and values the product will value this a lot. Value. Brought to you by Values. Someone who is packing a clinic with $27 a visit patients 5 times at a time. They will not. No, they will never slow down. They don't even have
because yes, exactly. Because the clinic is so high volume, you don't have time to review all these calls. Even the insight, like the quick breakdown. Exactly.
Right. Drew saying I'd be down to record my patient interactions so he knows if he can be better at communicating. Or hey, you could pair Drew wanting to be better at communicating and John saying we're going to put it in the CPG. It's like, how am I communicating well? Am I listening? Am I responding? Am I doing something clinically well? Could I have done? I don't know if I've met a therapist who's like, could I have done something better? Like who doesn't say that? Like most of them are like, what could I have done better there? Now you can see it.
And what the one thing I didn't mention about this entire thing is that this has already been used for years in home services, construction, HVAC, pools, roofers, literally everything. So the salesperson the sales rep in person goes to someone's home, goes to Tony Maritato's home, and they do a free estimate. They go through the assessment, whatever. What are you looking for? What type of scope of project, whatever it is, layout. Hey, what's your budget, whatever. They're going through a script. This is already used by so many industries, and there is also used in dental. So one of the companies that I have demoed with, they have a bunch of dental practices because the dentists, not the traditional cleanings where it's like, again, high volume, but the dental practices that are selling, $15,000 to $50,000 dentures or full, sets of teeth. Those are also big dollar amount packages, whether it's paid up front or packages or financing or whatever. But there's already a lot of dental practices using this. Yeah. And I've talked to all these companies so far. Believe it or not, I'm the first physical therapist to reach out.
So, okay, so you don't have to say which one it is, but what is this like called? What would you call this?
AI. It's an AI sales solution.
Yeah, CPTs wouldn't be searching for that. So, suggestion for them: call it something different if you want to. You would need to call it a clinical confident. Like, I don't know. I won't name it for you. AI will be better to do that. But like, don't call it that. Don't call it sales. Don't do that. If you want PTs to ignore something, write the word sales on top. They will never read past. And I love you. And I love the fact why you do that. So call it something different, which is like confidence and the clinical confidence and competence app, Insights, CPG, live CPG creator, something like just word salad the crap out of it, but say 7 words that I like, not sales. Don't say sales if you want PTs to read it. This is wild.
Well, there are certain therapists. There are certain therapists that are okay with the word sales, and those are the ones that will find themselves in out of network or cash practices.
You're right.
They want to get coached. They're okay with sales. They will say to me, "I'll start the conversation with them in the beginning if they're looking to, they're reaching out and they're looking to, join us." And I'll say, sale. I know some therapists, sales is a dirty word, bad word, whatever, and how do you feel about it? How do you describe, we're going to be doing sales role play today. I'm meeting up with my new therapist today from, 12:30 to 4 or whatever. A lot of what we're going to cover today are his other evals from this week that we recorded. And we're going to go through it. We're going to use the sales tool, but we're also going to go through objections and rebuttals. Like, hey, this sounds too expensive. I need to think about it. I wanted to use my Medicare, my insurance, whatever. And we're going to literally do sales role play. But that therapist has already opted in to this. And I agree with you, Jimmy. It's not for every therapist.
That's good, though. It's not for everything. Good. Be the early adopter here. We've got 9 minutes left. We'll do parting shots in a second. I do want to, later on today, I'm going to Graham sessions. I had AI write a movie trailer script. In a world where reimbursement is shrinking, documentation is endless, and the profession is under more pressure than ever. Dun, dun, dun. One conference dares to ask the hardest questions in physical therapy. This week, from the APTA Centennial Center in Alexandria, Virginia, comes the Graham Sessions 2026. The theme this year, diamonds are made under pressure. 2 days, 1 profession, 1 room. I'm going there. It's a bunch of people. My question, Dave, just like, I'm out. My question to you guys was going to be, I'm going to live stream and interview people from there. I want to ask like 3 or 4 questions. I don't want to go crazy but I want to ask the same 3 or 4 questions. What would you want to know? Tony is like the last person who would want to go to Graham sessions because you're like, I'd rather be out doing, not talking about it. Plus Tony's like, are there people there? I'm good. Let's not do that. But what would you want to know from those people in the room? It's a good smattering of our professions. CEOs. I hate this word, but I'm using quote, thought leaders. What are my 3 questions?
Gosh. You tell me. What are you thinking? My
thing would be like, I like similarities and differences. So I would go like, what surprised you the most so far that you didn't see coming? What were you hoping to see but haven't seen on the docket? Like, I like, what did you not see or what did you want to see? What does success look like from the conversations in this room 5 years from now? Like those sorts of like big picture, because I can answer those, like ask them generically in a good way. And I can ask the same 30 people. My goal is 20 plus interviews for 7 minutes. I don't want to bog. This isn't a let's get into your life story. This is like tactical boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to try to live stream from there. I'm trying to live stream these things because why wouldn't I? So I've got a rolling cart. I'm bringing the whole studio. Everything you're looking at right now is coming with me because I want to be ridiculous. I want to be the guy there with stupid headphones on. But this is supposedly the room where it happens. But I want to get it out of the room, at least the ideas. The whole pitch with Graham Sessions is it's this safe space where you won't have to attribute Jimmy's crazy idea to Jimmy. So Jimmy's free to say it, either when Jimmy just says the crazy idea most of the time. But if you don't want to, or you might be penalized for it, let's make sure the idea gets spread, but you don't have to worry about the repercussions. But I want the ideas to get out of a damn room. So that's what I'm doing.
I love it. I think those are great questions. I'm terrible with that kind of stuff on the spot. But yeah, the what surprised you? What did you think we would be doing at this point?
Yeah, good expectation.
And then what does success look like 5 years from now? Because that gives us a forward indicator of not if they're right or wrong. I don't care about that. It's where are they mentally? What are they thinking is gonna happen moving forward?
Ooh.
That's what I'm so curious about.
Yeah, Ben has a good question. Did you assume there would be s'mores to go with the Graham sessions, which I brought up before, and I think it's a valid question. Something you just made me think of. I did interviews at Graham sessions a decade ago. They're somewhere on the internet. Maybe in my 5-hour drive from New York to DC, I'll listen to them, and some of the people I interviewed will still be in this room again. I'll be like, hey, remember that thing you were super passionate about? Did we solve that? Did we, whatever? What did we do with that? What happened with that? Did we knock that out of the park, or we just sweep that one under the rug like an old dog turd? Because many of those things are the hot topic for a hot minute, and then we just sort of like, I guess we're not going to solve that. Moving on. So that is Graham Sessions. I'll be there. Tony, parting shot.
So interesting. Yesterday, I went to the dental hygienist. I go twice a year. This was the first time he had said, I see the same guy usually. He was like, all right, time for x-rays. We're going to do the x-rays. Boom, 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 boom. He pulls them up. He's like, hey, I'm going to take a look at these first. Then I'm going to have AI look at them. And then the dentist is going to look at them. And I thought about that. And, I was like, oh, how's that going for you? How, is AI helpful for you? And he was like, it's okay. Huh. He's not a big tech guy anyway. But I was just thinking, I wonder if that was his way to kind of inform me. Hey, we got AI. It's, he didn't ask if it's okay for AI to look at it. He just said, hey, I'm going to look, AI is going to look, and the dentist is going to look. And then, of course, if we ever get the time, maybe another episode, we talk about that whole, the dental hygienist sees me first. The dentist comes in at the very end. The dental hygienist says, these are the images. Everything looks good. What do you see, doctor? I don't even know the dentist's name.
That's great.
Then the dentist pokes in my mouth. 20 seconds max. He's done. He's out the door. To me, man, that's my model. Like, let me have the PTA do all the stuff. My PTAs are more than capable of doing everything that needs to be done. If they get into trouble, I am there to help, take it to another level. Do what I can do best, but there's no need for me to be the one in the room the entire time.
Yeah.
That was my parting shot.
Parting shot. I did not have on my bingo card. I was hoping Dave was still going to be here. Words mentioned during this episode that I didn't see coming: backdoor, penetration, the D word he wants me to delete out, and role play. Didn't see that coming on PT Breakfast Club. Maybe you don't have the kids in the car when you're listening. I would say adopts these technologies we're talking about. You don't have to do them all, but if you don't do some of them, at least slowly at first, they will run you over. You will get smoked and you will say, I never saw it coming. I think Hemingway said, slowly then suddenly. Someone else said a little bit less poetically, have things fall apart slowly at first, then all at once. So if you're not at least touching, that's what I hope you take away from listening to us, is like, I don't think you're going to be an expert. None of us on this show are experts at all this stuff. We're all just playing around with stuff. And then some of this stuff will be a fad and it'll go away. But like, play and be informed. Be informed so you understand this stuff. All right, maybe I'll see you guys live from Graham Sessions. Tony, I'll report back on Tuesday. Have a good weekend.
Tune in. Drive safe.
That's it. We're out.
Boys, what the hell are you doing?
Follow Tony Maritato on YouTube at Total Therapy Solution. Find Dave Kittle at ConciergePainRelief.com and on YouTube at The Dave Kittle Show. And follow Jimmy McKay at PT Pinecast on YouTube, the socials, and wherever you binge podcasts you pretend are for CEUs. And hey, just a reminder, none of this was for advice. This was for entertainment only. Our lawyers say that counts. Thanks, Keith.